So, how do you make a new blog? How do you ramp up and vamp up your existing blog? Or how do you work to get more out of the content that you're producing? All these questions I'm going to be addressing on this episode of the BB&J podcast. I'm your host, John Lint, and let's get into it. So, to start, let's kind of cover the history or the evolution of blogging. With the introduction of the internet, people started posting short form and long form text content. This isn't necessarily book length, but when we talk about long form, that can be like a page or two if you're making a Word or a text document. Not insanely long, but compared to what you're normally getting on a blog, it is quite a bit. You also have people, posting their little mini stories, their novelettes, I believe they're usually called. All of these communities associated with certain book series, certain films, certain TV shows. You have what's called fan fiction, which is a creative interpretation, adaptation, addition to an existing work. So, there's let's say Lord of the Rings. There was a fan fiction book written from the perspective of the orcs, and like going on the other side and kind of introducing some conspiracy theories of like this civilization that was on the verge of an industrial revolution and how the elves were trying to stop that, manipulating the humans and all that. Very interesting, certainly. But like that is an early and I think very famous example of fan fiction. I mean, heck, 50 Shades of Grey started off as Twilight fan fiction. And how popular is that now? It's not just a book series, it's a movie series. How much fan fiction has come from that? From the beginning of the internet, but like more broadly than that, from the beginning of the internet, blogging has been an integral part. People documenting their process, documenting their journey, people writing creatively, expressing themselves online is still incredibly normal. Blogging has been important from the start of the internet and is still incredibly important. If you think, oh, I can't get results from this, I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but you're wrong. You can still do so much with a good blog. But what we've definitely seen is an evolution in how it's approached, what kind of platforms we're seeing, right? So in that traditional blogging, a lot of people, they'd have the websites. You would go to things like, I remember as a kid, I'd go to like cracked.com, or, all these different comic artists or content creators would have their own blogs. And that was how it was done. Were there some more like forums and platforms where people would post short form to long form text content? Yes. But that was kind of the way it is. That social aspect was much more come to me style. It was much more like come to me specifically. What we've seen as blogging platforms have gotten bigger and have evolved is now people are going to these specific sites, these specific platforms for a variety of blogs, for a variety of text content. You're not just going to one person's website. You're going to a place like Wattpad. Wattpad is incredibly popular right now. And there's a lot of different platforms similar to that where people aren't In the modern day and age, people aren't going to individual writers' websites. They're going to a platform where they can see all their favorite writers at once. They can go through it all and enjoy it. You need to be on those big platforms. If you're trying to establish a blog, yes, you should have, if you're trying to make a blog in the modern day and age, you should have your own personal blog site. That's absolutely invaluable. But you also need to be getting out on the more popular platforms. And I think the combination of these two things is something that some people struggle with. They either do too much of one or too much of the other. An over focus. You're not going to get anywhere just by posting on your personal blog. You got to be sharing that. You mean so many of these modern platforms are super friendly for blog articles. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. All of these are very blog friendly. They'll pull the image and they'll display it and they'll give you a little preview. Like, it's designed to work well with these. You can post on them. You absolutely need to be posting on these. I mean, if you have a blog series, make a Facebook page, update. People will see it. People will be excited to go to your Facebook page. People are a lot less likely to go outside of that. People are a lot less likely to go outside the platforms that they're familiar with. So look out for the hubs. Look out for the big stuff, such as, I mean, something that has been popular for a very long time, but is really consistently killing it, is Flipboard. That's not a place you post. Like, that's not a place you write blogs. That's a place, all-in-one hub of these different blogs where people get their cultivated feeds, the stuff that they're really looking for, and they just read that. They read those articles. I do that too. I have my marketing feed, I have my web design feed, and that's what I go to. Now, I'll go to the people's blog sites, but it starts in Flipboard. And for so many people, it starts with the integrated platform. So kind of touched on it, but let's go through it. Where do you get started? If you're thinking to yourself, this is all well and good, but I don't know how to make a blog. I mean, I do writing, but I don't know where to get started online. Or maybe you're thinking like, well, I've been posting online and I get some engagement with my audience, with the 10 people who read it, but I'm not sure how to expand beyond that. The first thing I'll say is get on platforms. Find where people are and post there. Find where people are who are going to engage with your content. Post on those platforms, post on those groups, post on those communities, whatever they are. That's where you want to go, because that's where your audience is. This is the case for everything, but especially with blogs, where the nature of it, people will mindlessly browse, mindlessly scroll through like short form text content, through images, through video, short form videos, but they can't do that with long form text content. And it is absolutely invaluable to do that, to create that content, because it's another stream that you can get. And if people are reading it, then they are going to be a lot more engaged. It's a much more active process than a video, which is just kind of at you. You have to actively read. The pages aren't going to be turned unless you're turning them. And that is a really powerful aspect of audience engagement. So if you're making the content already, get on a bunch of different platforms. Post it wherever you can. And then the last thing I'll say, and this is absolutely invaluable, regardless of what you're posting, regardless of what platform you're on, write what people want you to write. You don't have to compromise who you are or your artistic integrity, but go based on what gets results. Go based on what gets engagement, because as long as that's something that you feel comfortable with, those subjects, they're going to get more engagement. A critical part of so many creators who are really killing it is they will go through all these different platforms, all these different streams, all this different types of content, see what sticks, and then they'll just go at it. I remember there's this one TikToker who just absolutely exploded last year. And what it was is she was producing a variety of content, and then she tried this one new thing, and it just absolutely killed it. And now that's pretty much all she does. So, obviously, write about what you enjoy, but also write about what gets engagement, because that's how you're going to grow your voice. If you want to be seen by more people, if you want to be heard and read by more people, you have to have people wanting to read what you're writing, right? So I know it can suck, but you're going to have to go in those comment sections. You're going to have to do those QAs. Q&A is a wonderful way to learn about what your audience cares about. Ask for recommendations, ask for ideas, or you can even, make a fun promotion out of it. But talk about what people want to know about. Write about what people want to learn about. Whatever that is for your platform. If you're a business, if you are, let's say, a realtor, you want to be creating text posts, blog posts about things that showcase your expertise, showcase why you are an expert in your field, someone that they could go to and get the expert opinion without getting too technical. Just showcase who you are as a professional in a way that makes them say oh my gosh, this guy gets it. This guy or this person understands what they're talking about, understands the field in a way that they can communicate it to other people. Because the experts in the field, the most effective people in the field are the people who are super technical and can just rattle off jargon in a way that no one can understand. It's the people who can take that super technical stuff and express it in a way that a layman can understand. And if you can do that as a professional, or as if you're doing it creatively, then you will go very far. So, in the interest of putting my money where my mouth is, if you are interested in this, if you're interested in learning more about blogs or specific aspects of it, absolutely leave a comment on wherever you're seeing this or listening to this. You can also go to bbdigitallab.com/podcast, leave a message, say what, make your Q&A, make your questions, comments, and suggestions. I absolutely appreciate it. I do read the comments, and I will try to make content based on recommendations. But that's all I have for you for this week. I'd like to thank you for watching. See you next.